back to Parent Powered Up. This is volume 3 of my 8 weeks to a bigger bench series. But today's episode's just a tad bit different. This one is all about my blood work, how my body is responding to TRT and peptides, and how that lines up with the progress I'm seeing in the gym. Weeks 5 and 6 are coming, but before I go smash more negatives, I need to see what's going on internally. So as we've said, for this program, I'm on TRT, I'm using CJC ipamorelin blend twice a day, and I added IGF LR3 about a week before pulling this blood. I inject test every Sunday, full IGF dose on lift days and a half dose on off days. Since this program pushes eccentric loading pretty hard, and because IGF can shift some markers, I wanted to establish true baselines for myself so I could track changes month to month. So instead of waiting for my yearly doctor's labs, I used a company called Rythm Health. So this is the exact kit I used, the Rythm Health at-home hormone and wellness test. It measures testosterone, estradiol, cortisol, liver function, lipids, inflammation, the whole panel you want if you're on TRT or peptides. The reason I picked them is because the pricing's reasonable and the instructions seemed pretty simple. The results are clean and easy to understand. And I'm not sponsored, there's not an affiliate link, but maybe someday there will be. I did pay for this myself because I wanted accurate data for this series. So I got the test delivered on November 27th. I drew my blood fasted on Monday morning, December 1st. Shipped it out via FedEx. My results were available that Friday afternoon, so the turnaround time was pretty quick. The clutching device is actually pretty cool. It's a funnel-style cap you stick to your arm. You press the button, it quickly punctures the skin, and blood drains into a vial that's attached. There's really no pain, no drama. It's honestly easier than a finger prick. I'll show the demo video as B-roll as we're going through this. When the results came in, the first thing I did was compare them against my most recent doctor-ordered labs. And everything was basically right where it should be. Testosterone, my total T was nearly identical to my physician's lab test, and my free T was slightly higher. Given my TRT schedule, Sunday injections, this test being drawn on Monday, that's exactly what I expected. My T higher than the doctor's ones, which was further out. My liver function, totally in the same range I normally sit in. This was a big one because I wanted baselines before evaluating IGF effects over time. Inflammation, cholesterol, glucose, all lined up with my doctor's labs. There were no surprises there. The accuracy based on these comparisons, the kit lines up damn near perfect with a real lab draw. Nothing weird, nothing artificially high or low. So since starting IGF a week before the draw, I've definitely felt a little tighter, a little fuller. It's probably just up in my mind, but my shoulder, while still injured and weak, feels noticeably better. Day-to-day ROM still has some pain, but it's improving. The CJC ipamorelin seems to be helping with the tissue healing. My sleep, still garbage. But I'll get into sleep hygiene in a completely different video, but it definitely needs to be looked at. All right, a quick training update. Even though today's episodes on my blood is more blood work focused, I'm still running everything through the Persyst on the Advanced Muscle Mechanics Launchpad. And across the weeks 3 and 4, my standard pause and assisted work predicted 1 RMs were consistently in the 173 to 178 pound range. My heavy negative work climbed into the 190s, topping out at 199 pound predicted 1 RM, which is the strongest reading of this program so far. And that's with the shoulder still acting up and my sleep being absolute trash. So the upward trend is honestly pretty promising, and I'm hoping we'll see numbers come more in line and start raising sooner. This 2-week program, there was a couple things I messed up. Pause negatives, I'm still learning the system. The machine was assisting back up too early because I didn't program the pauses correctly. That's user error, not a system issue. And the assisted negatives in week 1, I didn't take the time to understand what I was technically supposed to be doing. I treated them as negatives. You're supposed to lift normally, hit failure, and then let Power Assist help you grind out assisted negatives. So week 2, I finally got the pattern down and I did much better on it. But this whole segment was alien to me, and I know I'll be way better with it when I run the program back through again the second time once I finish this. All right, so overall, I feel pretty damn good considering my sleep is the worst it's been in years. I mean, like really the worst it's been. The strength trend is up, the shoulder's improving, and now I've got clean blood work to track every step from here on out. All right, let's talk about weeks 5 and 6. And I actually shifted my Monday workout to this morning because I've already got an idea. But Monday is typically going to be heavy negatives. Wednesday, I'm back to pause negatives. And Friday is AEL, which is accentuated eccentric load, which isn't quite working yet. So we're going to try a different program using bands, which I will explain. It's lower accessory volume, higher CNS load. So the next episode, volume 4, will go back to normal with more training footage, more velocity data, and how the shoulder handles this phase that I'm currently starting now. You know, if you're following along with the series, thank you. I know it can be kind of boring, but drop any questions about Rythm Health or the program below. Volume 4 is going to be spicy, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.